The high places shall be broken. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea? This is God speaking to Job. God is demanding Job answer him. Or hast thou walked in the search of the deeps? Have the gates of death been opened unto thee? This is God demanding answers of Job. Or hast thou seen the doors of the shadow of death? Or hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare thou all of it. This is God demanding answers of Job. But Job said he would argue with God. And now God is speaking for himself. For God spoke to Job through the whirlwind in this 30th chapter of Job. And hast thou perceived the breadth of the earth? Declare thou knowest it. Where is the way that light dwelleth as for the darkness? Where is the place thereof? He's asking him, how do you know the difference between where light and darkness starts? Tell me these things. Thou shouldest take it to the bond thereof. Take thy thought, know the path of the house thereof. Knowest thou it because thou hast then been born? No, you weren't born when this happened. Cause the number of thy days is great. Hast thou entered into the treasures of the snow? Hast thou seen the treasures of hell? Why have I reserved against thine time of trouble, days of battle, war? By what way is the light parted, which scattereth the east wind upon the earth? When we want to demand an answer of God, we better be prepared to hear what God gonna say back to us. And this is what God was saying to Job. He was demanding him to tell him some things about what he had done and who are you and where were you? How do you know these things? Can you declare the difference between light and dark? What do you really know? Speak up now and tell me, how do you know these things? When did you command any of these things to be? For God has commanded and did all these things for his own purpose and to his own glory. And now God is demanding of Job. He said, if you're going to instruct me, when did you do any of these things? Where were you when I did these things? How do you know these things? How can you prove any of these things? Job had no answer at this time. To satisfy the desolation and waste ground, and to cause the bud to be of the tender herb to spring forth. This is the things God says he did. Have the rain a father, or have begotten the drops of the dew? Out of whose womb came the ice and hoary frost of heaven? Hast thou gendered it? The waters are hid as with a stone, and the face of the deep is frozen. Canst thou bring the Mazaruth in his season? Or canst thou gird the Artucarus with his sons? Know these the ordinance of heaven. Canst thou set dominion thereof in the earth? Canst thou lift up the voice to the clouds, that the abundance of the waters may cover thee? Canst thou send lightning, and they go and say unto them, here we are? What can you command, Job? What can you do? You don't have that kind of power. Who have put wisdom in the inward parts? Or who have given understanding to the heart? Who can number the clouds in wisdom? Who can say the bottoms of heaven? When the dust groweth in the hardness of the clods, clay fast together. He's asking Job, what can you demand? What can you do? What can you command? Can you do any of these things? Will thou hunt the prey for the lion, or fill the appetite of the young lions? You can't do any of these things, Job. When thou crouchest in their dens, and abideth in the covenant to lie in want, who provided the raven his food, when the young ones can cry unto God? They wander from lack of meat. Know thou these times, when the wild goats of the rocks go forth? Or canst thou mark when the hind do calve? Do you know any of these things, Job? Canst thou number the months that they be full? Or knowest thou the time when thou bringest forth? They bow themselves and bring forth young ones. The young ones are in good liking, and grow up with corn.